It's weather for Weather Geeks time. It is Thursday, I think. It's been kind of a crazy week here. Of course, in the weather department, we always need to cover when someone is out. We've got a real team attitude here, and Jess feeling a little under the weather this week, so we've been pinch hitting for her, letting her kind of take care of herself and get back to full health before returning. And so I'm on the morning shift today. You'll see me today, 21 News Midday, coming up at noon. All right. I posted a blog today on ericwfmj.com. That's my weather blog. And I've got lots of details on both the short-term and the longer range, including the possibility of our midweek storm next week. So be sure and check that out. Lots of really great, colorful maps, explanations, and as always, this comes without any sort of hype. If I show you computer model images, as you know, if you've watched this video or read my blogs before, I'm going to tell you what you're seeing and why it might be wrong or it might be right. I kind of went on a little rant on Facebook last night about some of these sites, both on Facebook and just regular websites, that are, they're run by people who don't have a tremendous amount of expertise in meteorology. A lot of them do not have degrees in meteorology. A lot of them are wishcasters. In other words, they forecast what they want to have happen. They love snow, so they're going to forecast a bunch of snow. You got to be aware of those sources, and they're everywhere now. You can find them everywhere, and social media is great, but you've got to be careful about what you're looking at, because there are a lot of sites with pretty bad information out there. My site, I hope, is one of the better ones out there. I'm never going to hype things that don't need hyping. I'm not a wishcaster, so I'm going to give you the straight dope. So ericwfmj.com, where you can find my weather blog. All right, here's a look at yesterday's high-resolution satellite image of Lake Erie in northern Ohio. It's hard to pick out individual features in northern Ohio because it looks like a glacier. It's snow-covered, of course, everywhere. It's frozen in place. We've been in the deep freeze for several days now. Up on Lake Erie, we've got completely frozen over the western end, but then you break out into some thinner ice west central Lake Erie, and then it gets a little thicker across the central part of the lake. So this satellite picture tells the whole story. This is how cold it's been this January. It's been remarkably cold, and here's the temperature anomaly map for the entire month so far. And again, this tells the story very easily what kind of a month it has been. It's been warm and too dry in the western U.S., western Canada, and especially Alaska, where it's been just remarkably warm. Anytime Alaska is warm, we're usually cold. And no surprise, the biggest temperature departures from average this month in the entire U.S. have been across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and down into parts of the Southeast. All right, it's Thursday morning. I'm recording this a little before 9 o'clock. Here's how things are progressing. It's cold this morning, yes, but it is not as harsh as the last couple of mornings. We've still had some below zero readings. At the airport here in the 8 o'clock hour, it's 7 degrees. The wind chill is -7. It's definitely another morning where your car is going to groan at you a little bit as you start it. So you need the layers. There's been some 2-hour school delays because of those wind chills this morning. But we do have on the weather map today a warm front, actually, off to our west. That is in part what's sparking the snow out across the Midwest, and this is the leading edge of warmer air that's coming east. We'll make it into the 20s this afternoon. The snow looks fairly impressive right now, but I'm going to show you what the radar will look like as we go through time, and you'll notice the snow is likely to become less and less impressive as we head through time. Let's start with this evening at 7 o'clock. I'm going to show you the future radar here. And that's not what I want to show you. I want to show you this, I hope. Nope, that's not it either. Bear with me for just a second. There we go. I'm going to show you the, that's not what I want either. The future radar here. The snow is going to fall apart quite a bit as it comes east. It's going to run into some drier air, and we're going to be dealing with maybe some flurries, some real light snow tonight, and it looks like my computer model does not want to load up. So I guess we'll just skip past that. We'll head over to our different source here. And what I was going to tell you is that the snow is going to fall apart some tonight. It's going to piddle around tomorrow. There's going to be some light snow for our Friday, but this isn't going to add up to much. Here's the map for Friday afternoon. A little light green around Ohio, the northern part of the state. Same story tomorrow night. Now, someone might get an inch out of this between tomorrow and tomorrow night. Most of us will have a ½ inch. Just broom it off your sidewalk or dust it off your car. Not a big deal, but yeah, I can't rule out an inch in some spots by Saturday morning. Now, Saturday afternoon, it's going to start to warm up. Here's the map for early afternoon. Low pressure is over Fort Wayne, Indiana. warm front in through here, cold front back here, and we will get into the warm sector, it looks like, on Saturday, so we got a shot at 40 by the end of the day. And what that means is by the time the second round of precipitation associated with the cold front pushes in Saturday evening, it's likely to be rain. So we will see raindrops, I think, late Saturday afternoon heading into Saturday evening. And then as the colder air wraps in behind the system for Sunday morning, there could be a little bit of snow on the back end of this, maybe a small accumulation around daybreak on Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday, of course, is coming up, and here's the weather map for around kickoff of the big game. No precipitation over northern New Jersey and New York City. Maybe we're dealing with a couple of flurries here in northeast Ohio and northwestern PA. All right, quickly, let's focus on next week. And I've got much more in the way of details on this on my weather blog, ericwfmj.com. But here's the general idea. This system that will become our midweek storm is still over the Pacific. It's south of Alaska. Until it gets on the playing field, in other words, over the U.S., the computer models are likely not to have a perfect grasp on this, and that may not happen for a couple of days. So based on the information we have available right now, we'll do a little speculating here, but keep in mind that the information is likely to change some as we head towards the weekend and that disturbance gets onto the mainland U.S. The models will have an easier time kind of determining what's going to happen with it. Bottom line is low pressure will be somewhere around the Ohio Valley Tuesday, late Tuesday into Wednesday, and depending on the track, we will get snow, perhaps mixed precipitation, perhaps enough snow to shovel and plow, perhaps a total rip-off if the warm air gets in too fast, or if the cold air wins, we could see a whole lot of snow. So it just depends on where the low tracks. Right now, most modeling has the low tracking almost right overhead Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. If that's going to be the case, I think there will be some mixing with sleet and freezing rain as the air above our heads warms up. So if that track ends up being exactly right, we might get a few inches of snow as the precipitation shield pushes in, maybe even 3, 4, 5, 6 inches, and then a changeover to mixed precipitation, putting an end to the accumulating snow. Now, if the storm track is not as far north, if it's more like from here to say here, going like this, we probably won't see much of a changeover, and that scenario would lead us to get a real healthy dumping of snow, probably more than 6 inches. So it just depends on exactly where this is going to track. And again, we have information now we can show you, but the information is likely to change at least a little by the weekend based on the current information. Again, here's the European model prediction, a little over 10 inches worth of snow here in Youngstown. So that's kind of, I think, at the high end of the possibilities. Everything has to go exactly right for that to happen. So we're certainly not going to forecast that, but I think that's the high end. That's what's on the table on the high end of possibilities. We a lot of times look at something called ensemble forecasts in meteorology, where you take a computer model, you tweak its initial conditions several times. In the case of the European model here, they tweak it 51 times and then run it over and over again. And each time it's run with those tweaks made, you end up with different scenarios playing out. And then you can look at the average of all those and make a reasonable forecast. You can kind of get a range of possibilities. Modeling the atmosphere is far from perfect. It's far from an exact science. And so making those tweaks, running it over and over, kind of gives you the range of possibilities. My browser's not going to let me browse down enough for you to see this, I guess. But the European ensemble model last night gives a total of about 8 inches. The operational run, the one that is most easily available, gives us 10.2. The ensemble run gives us less than that. So I think the ensembles are kind of seeing that there is the possibility that we're going to see some mixing going on, and therefore the amounts are knocked down a little bit. But bottom line for you, I'm rambling a little bit. We've got the potential for a pretty big storm late Tuesday into Wednesday, but there's lots and lots of details to be worked out. Too much mixing will equal less snow here, and that possibility is on the table. That's weather for Weather Geeks on this Thursday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you right back here Friday afternoon.